What's going on, guys? It's Anime1 back with another video, and today I'm here with another part of What If Naruto Was Neglected and a little like Obito. So if you guys like the content in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video. So let's begin the video. So was looking at his opponents that are in front of him. This was gonna be probably the hardest battle that he had to fight in his life. And the last one, once this was all over, this would be in order, and no violence would ever take place in this planet. He would make sure of that. Hashirama, Tobirama, and Hiruzen looked at the masked man. They could feel the power coming out of the masked man. Hashirama spoke. That power, Sage Mode. You have also learned it, whoever you are. Hashirama said. He could feel nature chakra everywhere. No matter how much the person tried to hide it, he could feel nature chakra. And he saw the sword behind the masked man's back. That's the Minashu clan's sacred sword that can absorb nature energy and provide that nature energy to its user. It has never been used, can only be used by someone who is somewhat of a descendant of the Sage of the Six Paths. Don't tell me you are siphoning off your energy that the sword is accumulating, and by the use of a Rinnegan, absorbing into your own body and making it your own nature energy. Is that right? Tobirama said after hearing what his brother had told. Naruto chuckled. As you're as smart as ever, Tobirama, Naruto said. I've heard about you, both of you, and I've heard about you especially. Naruto said, pointing his finger at Hashirama, that you were a challenge to someone that I somewhat consider who can be in my power league. How about we have a nice dance? Naruto said. As his Rinnegan started glowing. Everyone, stay back. Hashirama said. He could feel the power. This man was stronger than Madara was, that was for sure. Brother, you gotta be kidding. Tobirama said, but he saw the look in his brother's eyes. You'll all only get in the way. Get out. The Nine-Tails boy, you can only be the assistant of me. Others, you'll only be hindrance. Go. Hashirama said. All of them nodded and went away. And Hashirama stood there, along with Suki. Girl, I told you to leave. Hashirama said. He looked at Suki. Don't consider me a weakling. I can fight, she said. Suit yourself. Just don't blame me if you get killed in the backlash. Hashirama said. He was never the one to talk in this tone, but he was a Hokage at one point, and he could make decisions that could harm others and make them feel sad, but it had to be made. Hashirama went through hand signs. Wood style. Forest emergence. Hashirama said as several wood vines came out of the ground. They were huge, even much huger than the ones Naruto had formed, and went towards Naruto, who smirked as his Rinnegan started glowing. Almighty push, Naruto said, and all the wood vines were blown away from him. Hashirama narrowed his eyes as he looked at Menma, who nodded. Faster than a blink of an eye, Menma was in front of Naruto with his fist coated in chakra. He tried to punch Naruto, but he phased right through him. And as soon as Menma's hand went right through Naruto, Naruto grabbed Menma's hand and held onto it. Get lost, he said, and kicked Menma away. As Hashirama caught Menma before he could crash down, Suki went forward with her blade crackling in black lightning. Naruto simply started dodging or letting her attacks phase right through him. Attack back, Suki said. As he was furious, the masked man was not taking her seriously. Naruto didn't answer her questions. He kept on evading her attacks. Hashirama noticed that. It's not like he is doing this. He's ruthless, I can tell by his eyes. But towards that girl, Hashirama thought when he looked at Suki, he somewhat feels merciful. He thought. Rama and Hiruzen were also absorbing all of this. Looks like a space-time ninjutsu. Tobirama said, yes, and it looks like it surpasses yours, Lord Second. Hiruzen said, as Tobirama nodded, yes, teleporting anywhere without any markings or seal. I am guessing that's his Mangekyo ability, but it has a weakness. Tobirama saw right through the jutsu just by looking at it once, just like Kakashi and the others did. Kakashi was also looking at Tobirama. What do you mean, it has a weakness? He asked Tobirama. Well, your jutsu and my jutsu in conjunction, we may be able to do something to the space-time ninjutsu, Tobirama said. Kakashi looked at him. You said that you can enter space-time somehow, can't you? He nodded. Indeed I can. But it consumes a lot of chakra. Only doing it one time will almost drain all of my chakra. 2 times is my limit, he said. Hiruzen looked at Tobirama. Don't worry. I'll provide him with whatever chakra I have, he said. Tobirama nodded. Yes. So, here's the plan. He starts speaking. Rama looked at the masked man. If this is a fight that you want, it will be the fight that you'll get, Hashirama said. This man was not Madara, so there was no convincing him. He went through hand signs and slammed his hands together. Wood style. Wood golem jutsu, he said, as a large wood golem started forming around Hashirama, and it towered over all the shinobis. As Naruto smirked, as the great aura erupted around him, as his perfect Susanoo formed around him. It was a little larger than Hashirama's wood golem, but not by a huge margin. And Madara's and Hashirama's wood golem were almost the same size, so Naruto's Susanoo was larger than Madara's. So his will is even more stronger than Madara's. That's why Susanoo is so huge. Kama thought as the titans start to clash. Unlike Menma's Ninetales avatar, Naruto could not simply suppress the Hashirama's word golem by using any of his Rinnegan chains or any of his own wood style techniques. Hashirama would be simply too powerful for that. But the thing with Naruto Susanoo was Hashirama brought down his wood golem's hands at Naruto, but to his surprise, Naruto Susanoo let the hand phase right through it. What? Hashirama thought. As soon as the Susanoo let the hand phase right through it, it moved out of the way and brought down his sword at Hashirama's wood golem, who barely managed to block the sword attack. Another hand former on Naruto Susanoo, as the sword came out of it and attacked Hashirama's wood golem. Damn it, it's way too versatile, Hashirama thought. Then I guess I'll have to go even further, Hashirama thought. Then he slammed his hands together as he built up all of his chakra. This would be his last jutsu, and he just needed to hope that Tobirama and the others will figure out a way to Senju, veritable 1,000 armed cannon. Hashirama said. A huge shadow loomed over the entire battlefield as a huge figure formed. It was huge, even towering over Naruto Susanoo. Naruto smirked. So this is a legendary power of Hashirama Senju. Truly magnificent. However, Naruto said, as a sad look appeared behind his mask, I'm too powerful for even this to harm me, Naruto thought. As the wood as the Woods Buddha started attacking Naruto with all of his hands. But Hashirama's eyes were completely widened when the Susanoo started walking through the attacks like it was a ghost. How is that even possible? Hashirama thought. As the Susanoo was walking, my Susanoo is special. As I said, any Susanoo can use its Mangekyo abilities, and the same goes for my Susanoo. It can use my Kamui with its overwhelming power. There is no way even someone like you stand a chance, Hashirama, Naruto said, as the Susanoo started to open his wings at his back. This is over, Naruto said. As the Susanoo started taking flight, it was flying right towards where Hashirama was. Damn it, he's too strong, Hashirama thought. And with the Sage Chakra, I can maintain this for as long as possible, Naruto said. As soon as he said that, Sun arrived right in front of Hashirama. But in a flash, Hashirama was gone when the Susanoo slammed his sword right into the Buddha's head as the Buddha statue started falling apart and it completely collapsed. He looked at his brother. Brat, he is Russian, is a problem, Naruto thought. But then he had to duck under the staff of the Hiruzen, who was coming towards him to take his head off. The old man, Naruto thought. He took out his sword and brought it down at Hiruzen, who blocked it with his staff. Not so soon, he said, as he started spinning his staff around. Naruto simply let the staff phase right through him. Hiruzen wasn't a threat to him, and he started walking towards Hiruzen, who was still attacking him, and Naruto let all those attacks phase right through him. And just as soon as Naruto was about to do something, Tobirama appeared in front of Naruto with a kunai, and Naruto let the kunai phase right through him. What are they planning? Naruto thought. Hiruzen and Tobirama started battling Naruto, who was superior to them even when they both were teaming up with him. With the Senjutsu hidden sensory abilities and his Rinnegan vision, he was pretty much unbeatable at this point. No one could defeat him, not even Hashirama as he saw it. Tobirama had a plan. He had explained it to Suki and Menma, and it was up to both of them. Menma he got his three-pronged kunais in his hand and started going forward, and so did Suki. The thing was, Suki was marked by the Hiraishin no Jutsu marking. So, what was going on exactly? Naruto kicked away Tobirama and took out several rods from his hand and stabbed it in the bastard's head. You are the one who ostracized the Uchiha. Honestly, if you're alive, I would have wanted to do this to you for a long time, Naruto said, as he tilted his head when Hiruzen's staff was right there, as he grabbed the staff and yanked it off Hiruzen and slammed it into Hiruzen. Then he appeared in front of Hiruzen's Sarutobi, then took out several black rods that he could manifest from his Rinnegan and slammed it into the old man. As I said, both of you are a hindrance. Killing you is impossible since you are a reanimation, but pinning you down and disturbing your chakra completely, on the other hand, is doable, Naruto said. But then he had to absorb a kunai that was sent right through him. What was that? He had Kamui the kunai away in time with his long-range Kamui, but then he had to dodge a blade that came right through him, and clacking with black lightning. Naruto saw Suki. You betray me. Suki, he said. She looked at him, deadly, and with an unfazed look. I was never completely on your side, nor was I on the Leaf side. I was always on my own, she said. Naruto shook his head. If that's how you want it, he raised his hand. Almighty push, he said, as he blowed away Suki. And before anything could happen, Naruto saw the Biju bomb coming towards him. Damn it, that Menma, he thought, as he completely went into his Kamui dimension. In order not to get hurt, even his perfect Susanoo would at least sustain some damage due to the Biju Dama. He was in his Kamui dimension and landed swiftly. But then he heard a voice inside his Kamui dimension. That's where you are. Tell me, who the hell are you? Suki said, as her hand was crackling in black lightning, as the Chidori slammed right into the masked man's face, and the mask broke. Not only that, Naruto's thought process, he was actually surprised. The kunai was a three-pronged kunai of teleportation. Menma, by using his Nine-Tails chakra, has managed to break the space-time ninjutsu barrier from the kunai and my Kamui dimension. And he managed to teleport Suki here, huh? I sustain. That bastard. Naruto thought. As he thought about Menma, he was truly a bastard of a brother. His mask broke, and he came out of his Kamui dimension. Everyone was frozen, surprised, speechless. They didn't know what to do. Hashirama was the only one that was not pinned down by the black rods. He knew for a fact that he could not touch those black rods. If he tried to, he felt the chakra invading his system. The man's chakra was just simply too strong. Hashirama did saw the terrified look in both of the kids' eyes, both Menma and Suki's. It can be, Menma said. Suki was shaking. She was seeing him of all people, right in front of her eyes. The man she loved was alive. No, Naruto, Suki said. Naruto looked at Suki. His mask was broken, and he pretty much looked like the Minato with the Rinnegan, and his hair was very long, almost pretty much like Madara hairstyle. You bastard, Menma. You managed to break my mask. I'll give you props for that one, Naruto said. If you were alive, Naruto, why didn't you come back to the Leaf? Menma shouted. Come back to the Leaf, you say? Well, it's simple. Why would it come back to the place that treated me like dirt? Why would it come back to a place that spoke my name as a plague? Why would I do that, Menma? Give me a specific answer. Not to mention, I always had this in mind. This was my goal since I was 7 years old when I was saved by my grandfather. Your grandfather, you say, young lad? Hashirama said. Naruto looked at the first Hokage. Yes, my grandfather is Madara Uchiha. Naruto said, as both Menma's and Suki's eyes widened, along with Hashirama. But how? That basically shouldn't be impossible. He should be pretty much old at that point, Hashirama said. The Geto statue is a weapon that can increase your age and make you look younger, and also it gives your body much more physical energy and chakra. So my grandfather, when he was actually in his 50s or 80s, just was looking like he was in his 20s to mid-30s. Do you get that, Hashirama? That's to clear your confusion, Naruto said, as Hashirama gritted his teeth. Madara, you bastard. Even after your death, You wanted your plans to come to truth, so you trained your grandson, who's even more powerful and hateful than you were, to make your plans come true. Mahashirama thought. But then he could feel something. Naruto appeared right behind him. This is over. Naruto in front of Hashirama dissolved into blood. A blood clone, Hashirama said. Naruto nodded. Yes, I supplied it some of my sage chakra and stop siphoning chakra of the sword so you would actually focus on that version instead of me. But the one that you hit, she hit with a Chidori, was still me. My mask is off. But you, on the other hand, Naruto said as he put his hand on Hashirama's head, are done for. And with that, he started pulling out the soul of the first Hokage, and Hashirama could do nothing. So that was the death of the first Hokage. Naruto then looked at Menma and Suki. You both are next, he said. They both looked at him and they were still shocked. You, Naruto, why would you do this? Suki said. Why would you go through all of this? Start a war? Why? Why would you leave me? She shouted at him. Naruto looked at her. Actually, for a second, there was regret in his eyes, but it vanished. Yeah, why would I do that, you say? My goals are much more to me than you ever were, Suki. Naruto said. Suki's eyes widened, and tears started coming to her eyes. Menma looked at Naruto. Bastard. All this time you were alive, and you were the one who killed Jiraiya Sensei. Dad. And all these innocent lives. Do you have any idea what you have done, Naruto? How many people have died in this war? I honestly believe I care, Menma. My goals will ensure that there's peace in this world. And for that, sacrifices have to be made. It's as simple as that. There is no world without sacrifice. A shinobi life is a sacrifice. Your father managed to gain my respect in his last moments because he managed to make his resolve strong enough to take me down by using the Reaper Death Seal. But unfortunately for him, that was what I already had planned. I knew for a fact that the bastard knew the Reaper Death Seal from the Uzumaki clan, so I had all prepared precautions for that. My Renegon ability had a direct counter to it, but unfortunately I cannot use it for this 24 hours anymore. Rat, I needed to focus, Kurama said inside Menma's head. I know he is your brother and all, but this man will end humanity if that's what it needs to take his plan to fruition. We cannot let a bastard like him survive, no matter what. Strengthen your resolve, brat, otherwise it will be the end of all of us, Kurama said. Naruto, Menma looked at Kurama. Kurama, you. Kurama glared at Menma. Say, we have to take him down. And with your Sage Chakra and my full power, we should have a standing chance. But even with that, I don't think we can win. Kurama said, but at least we'll die trying. I will not let the world that the old man had fought so hard to build go to waste, he said. Looked at the fox. I guess you are a beast after all, Naruto and Menma said as he smirked. I cannot back down. Naruto, if killing you is an answer for doing all my wrongdoings right, then so be it, Menma said. As Naruto smirked, you honestly think you stand a chance? I took down 3 Kages Your father, the five Kages, Tsunade, the legendary Sanins, everyone that this world's strongest people were born, all taken down. What makes you think that you stand a chance? Naruto said. Menma smirked. Maybe I don't, but I'll die trying, he said. As he rushed forward, Naruto simply didn't even move as he raised his hand forward. Almighty push, he said. As Menma was blown away, he could not do this. Wood style, Naruto said. Wood binding jutsu, he said, and several huge wood binds appeared around Menma as he was bind in a single place. You're not gonna be moving, and just for making it sure, he said, as several portals appeared around Menma, and black rods stabbed into him, as Menma cried out in pain, as purple chains appeared from the black rods and pinned Menma down. His QB chakra cloak was completely gone since it was mostly absorbed by the wood style and the chains that were specializing in suppressing Biju chakra. Then Naruto looked at Suki. Can you fight? Or is it all over? Naruto said. She was still too shocked to say or do anything. Suki looked at Naruto. I'll join you, she said. Naruto was surprised. What? He said. I said I'll join you, but in return, just promise me one thing, she said. Naruto looked at her. And what is that? That you will not let any more people like Itachi to be born in this world again. That you will not let anyone just sacrifice themselves for the sake of others. That there actually will be peace, she said. Naruto nodded. That's what I'm achieving for, Suki. And that's what will happen in the future, Naruto said. Suki nodded. Very well then. Naruto started walking towards Menma. And this is the end, brother. He said that. The red chakra started seeping away from Menma and entered Naruto's body. And as soon as it did that, appeared around Naruto as a white light completely engulfed the entire battlefield. As all the shinobis that are battling the Gear statue looked up to see a floating figure, its white cloak floating in the air, and it had a sakijo in his hand, and 9 truth-seeking orbs floating behind him. As Naruto landed, he had ascended. He had become the next sage of the expats. Now, that was all that was left, as he looked at the ally shinobi forces, and then he glared at all of them with his Rinnegan. The entire battlefield froze, feeling like killing intent. Naruto clapped his hands and raised it up to the air as several meteorites started falling down. Naruto looked at all of them. What are you gonna do now, huh? Suppress to me. Obey, and your lives will be spared. I will not be a tyrant or a ruler. I'm a protector of all of the peace that will follow. As I said, the Kages will have their own entirety to rule, but under a single land. Every land will be connected, and if any Kages dare to attack each other, it'll be game over for them. New Kages will be elected. A democratic system will be formed, where people decide who becomes the Hokage and who becomes any kind of Kage of the village. That's it. The age of shinobi is over, Naruto said. They all bowed down, fell to their knees, seeing all the meteorites that are coming towards them. They couldn't do anything. If they didn't follow, they would die. What could they do? The Kages looked up and suppressed. They bowed down their head. As you say, they all said. As soon as they all did that, a silhouette of a figure appeared beside Naruto. You have done it, Hagoromo said as he looked at Naruto. What did he expect? Everything went according to plan, he said. And what are you gonna do now? One of your goals have been achieved, but to ensure that the era of a shinobi is truly over, yes, Naruto said, as he pointed at his fingers and started going through hand signs. I will pretty much sap off all the chakra that everyone has. No one will be a shinobi anymore. Everyone will be a civilian with only enough chakra to survive. If they want to become strong, physical training and hard work is the only way, Naruto said as he completed the hand signs. And then a strange light went off as all the chakras started floating off the people and coming towards Naruto's hand. And soon, it all accumulated in a single place. Hagoromo looked at Naruto. What now? What are you going to do with all that chakra? Naruto looked at Hagoromo. Well, give it back to the nature, I guess. Naruto said. You know, and the ghetto Mauzo, Hagoromo said looking at the ghetto statue. Menma will have to die along with Killer Bee in order to ensure that a catastrophe like this that you created, Hagoromo, never happens, Naruto said. Started floating down. As soon as he did that, the ghetto statue appeared right in front of him. Any commands to obey. A chains that was all around Killer Bee and Menma connected to the ghetto statue as the tail beasts were extracted from them. They both dropped dead. Naruto looked at the ghetto statue that was slowly starting to transform. Before that happens, Naruto went through hand signs, and as soon as he did that, he slammed his hands on the ground. Evil sealing method. Reaper. Concealing, he said. As soon as he did that, several chains came out of the ground and started consuming the entire ghetto Mazo. What in the world is this power, Naruto thought. Even with his newfound power, he could barely suppress the Genamazo. He screamed as the Genamazo started coming down to the ground and slowly started getting absorbed in the core of the earth where it could never come out. No one could reach that deep without chakra, or the amount of chakra that is needed to sustain a jutsu like this. The ghetto statue would never be summoned along with the tail beasts. Naruto panicked as the three truth seeker orbs around him started to flicker, but they were still there. Naruto looked in the distance. This is it, he thought. Time skip. 13 years later, he was watching the dishes that were collected by the children in her house. She had two kids with Naruto, and they were named Izumi and other named Madara. Izumi, Madara, come here, she said, but they both pouted as they looked away. Why is Dad never home? You have only seen him like once this year, Izumi said, as Madara could only nod in agreement. Yes, he's right, they both yelled at their mom. Suki sighed. Your father has a very important role, kids. He protects the entire world that is in peace right now. If it was not for him, we'd be still living in a war-torn era. You do understand that, right? She said. Both of her kids nodded. They knew their father was very, very, very strong, and he was the one who created the world that we know now. All the 5 great nations were submerged into one great nation that was also subsequently called One. the land of one, where everything was one, every nation was equal, every race was equal. There was no hierarchy, only leaders that were elected by the people and trusted by the people, and no power hungry bastards anymore. Because of Naruto was protecting his home from the invaders that were coming from outside his world. He would do anything for his family, his two kids, and his wife. Maybe this was the path that he has chosen. Maybe there could have been another. Who knows? Naruto looked up at the sky as his cloak, the black cloak that he was wearing around, blew up in the air, and he smiled. Maybe this was all that had needed to be. The world had also developed a lot. Cell phones were developed, telephones, and many things were happening right now. And humanity was at peace. It was all because of this man who had taken the steps necessary to do what other nations could not. And right now, everyone is grateful to Naruto for the times of peace that everyone was gathering around. If Hagoromo didn't give humans chakra, this would be the place that everyone would end up in. Or maybe it would have been even worse than he was with the Allied Shinobi forces versus him. Maybe the humans would have created weapons by using technology to such a degree that could wipe out any of the nations in one swoop and possibly complete Nagato's plan of giving every nation a bomb that could probably wipe them all out. Maybe that would be the path of peace to humanity. Well, he would never know, since this world, the world peace, was simply a concept that he had gathered, and due to his hard work, he had managed to succeed. He was the child who grazed the earth. He was Naruto Uchiha.